can't really imagine going back to the US, especially now. But I'm very happily stranded in paradise. Yeah. So instead of going to the Yala National Park, which is what we were planning on doing, like the last day or two of our romantic holiday together, we ended up spending the last 2 days in a lawyer's office in Matra, setting up these companies we needed to buy.
Very romantic.
Yes, in the lawyer's office already, honey. We just proposed and we're already talking to a lawyer. This is not good. This is not for bode well.
So, in 4 days of your first trip, you faced two incidents, let's say.
Yeah. So
okay. I'm not proud about this, Baxter, but yeah, shit happens.
No, like I expect it. Like when I go to a country for the first time, okay, I'm probably going to get ripped off at some point. So it's like, it was no big deal. I didn't didn't spoil, like didn't make me not want to go back there. And then he started yelling at me. I didn't know he was yelling at me because he was yelling at me in Sinhalese. And then like everyone's looking at me. I was like, oh, maybe he's talking to me. Like maybe I'm doing something wrong. And then my favorite is I could eat this every day. That would be like papadam with coconut sambal and dal. Like that's like, it's kind of like
without rice, you mean?
No, right. Yeah. Well, okay, right. She originally worked for us as a housekeeper, and then because of her regular income she earned from working at Gaia Soul, she was able to get a loan and start her own business. So now we've partnered with them, and they're providing breakfast, lunch, and dinner for our guests. The healthcare in Sri Lanka is very inexpensive, so we don't even have I talked to my friends the guy who set up his own hotel there before, like, what do you guys do for health insurance? Like, they don't have any, and we don't have any either. So we just go and pay as we go because
cheaper.
It's cheaper. And that's probably the most dangerous thing in Sri Lanka is the traffic, and because of the bus drivers. And then sometimes I'll see like couples walking, like Sri Lankan couples walking hand in hand on the beach wearing helmets. Like, I don't understand why they don't take off their helmets.
Hi, Baxter. Welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Aibuan.
Aibuan. So, Baxter, you're not in Sri Lanka. I can see that. Where are you now?
Yeah, I'm in the Czech Republic. My wife is from here, and so we're visiting the family for the summer. This is what we do. We live in Europe, summers in Europe, and then winters in Sri Lanka. So.
Yes, I don't blame you. Winters in Europe can be horrible.
Depressing, yeah. But right now it's beautiful here.
Yeah. So, Baxter, please introduce yourself to the viewers.
Okay. Howdy, y'all. I'm Baxter Jackson from Texas, and I live in Sri Lanka. Not right now. Obviously, I'm in Europe, but yeah, we're living there, and I've been a long time expat for since 2001. I've been living outside the United States, and can't really imagine going back to the US, especially now. But I'm very happily stranded in paradise. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm married, and I have a daughter.
Okay. So before you came to Sri Lanka, Baxter, what other countries you lived in, and what did you do before that?
All right. So yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yeah. So I've been an English teacher pretty much all my adult life, and I've lived in the Middle East. I lived in India for a while, Ukraine, and Spain. So I've been like moving around and learning about different cultures and different languages, and and exploring the world that way through English, because everyone wants to learn English. And so when I lived in the UAE, it was a great place that was when I first went to Sri Lanka, because it was so close. It's only from Dubai, it's only like 4.5 hours. And I think we had a long Eid al-Adha or Eid al-Fitr, one of those Eids. And so, I just went to Sri Lanka for like 4 days, which is crazy to me now. I can't imagine just going to Sri Lanka for only 4 days, but I did. And
did you see anything at all the first trip?
Yeah, I saw Kandy, the Temple of the Tooth, and New Orwellia. And then I went to Marissa, and then I realized that I got the date wrong on when I was supposed to go back to the UAE. And so I had to hitchhike from Marissa because it was like the middle of the night when I realized, like, I got to be at the airport in like 4 minutes or 4 hours. And so I hitchhiked from Marissa to Colombo Airport. And somehow I made it.
Wow, in 4 days, Temple of Tooth, Mirisa, Nuwara Elia. Man,
Yeah,
that's an achievement.
yeah, it was like,
Cannot imagine.
yeah, and I think I went surfing in Marissa once. So yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. You do speak many languages, don't you?
I picked up some along the way. Yeah,
Arabic?
Arabic, بحكي عربي طبعا, uh, and Czech, yeah,
Mm.
Aksemash, and a little bit of Spanish. ¿Cómo estás? Muy bien. ¿Y tú? Yeah. Yeah. And some Sinhalese as well. Aibuan, Oyata, Kohomoda,
Mm.
Hyundai, yeah. So yeah, a little bit here
Okay.
and there, a little bit of,
Enough for a grocery shopping, all these
yeah,
languages.
yeah.
No, but
Grocery
your
shopping.
Arabic is good though. I saw your YouTube video. Arabic is
Oh,
pretty good.
oh, thanks. Yeah, I was like super into it. It helped. I had a
Yeah.
Syrian wife, second wife,
Mm.
and so it was part of her family. Had the full Middle Eastern experience, which was, yeah, very
Mm.
rewarding.
Nice. Yeah, yeah. So coming back to your first time in Sri Lanka, Baxter, what was your first impression the first day?
Yeah, my first impression was this is a beautiful place, but this guy who offered to give me a ride from the airport to Kandy was trying to rip me off. You know, he like changed the price like halfway through. I'm like, oh, okay, no, this is terrible. But that was the only time I really had any kind of. But my first impression was it's like the Jungle Book, and it's really green, and that we saw. I saw elephants on the ride from the airport in Colombo to Kandy, and
Mm.
so it was just, yeah, it felt a lot like India too,
Mm.
because I'd lived in India before that,
Mm.
and yeah, I just thought it was a beautiful place, and um, I unfortunately on that same trip when I was hitchhiking back from Marissa to Colombo in 2009, this is during the Civil War, um,
Mm.
I had my I got a ride from a guy in a big lorry or a big truck, and he had his assistant in the back, right? And so he said, yeah, you can put your backpack in the back, and then so I put my big backpack in the back with my video camera in it, and then during the ride, the assistant took the video
Bag.
camera. Yeah, no, not the bag, just
So,
just the video camera from the bag. But
oh.
that was like on me. I should have kept it with me,
Mm.
so I
Mm.
lost some footage from that trip, but
Mm.
live and learn.
Mm. 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 So, in 4 days of your first trip, you
Yeah,
faced two incidents, let's say.
yeah, yeah. But
Okay.
you
I'm
know,
not proud about this, Baxter, but yeah, shit happens.
no, like I expect it. Like when I go to a country for the first time, I just okay, I'm probably gonna get ripped off at some point.
Mm.
So it's like was no big deal. I
Mm. Mm.
didn't spoil, like didn't make me not want to go back there.
Mm. 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 And then when was the second time? And why did you finally feel like, okay, I'm going to settle down here?
Yeah. Okay. So the
By the
second
way, we
time.
are ready for long stories. Please
Okay.
feel free.
Okay. Okay. All right. So the second time was the first time was 2009, then 2018. I went there with my girlfriend at the time because we wanted to have like a romantic holiday.
Mm-hmm.
But we were trying to decide between the Maldives and Sri Lanka.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, I've been to Sri Lanka. I was like, I got ripped off when I was there. I was like, oh, and I'd never been to Maldives. But then I remember that my friend, he opened up his own hotel in Dikwela, and so I checked it out. I was like, I've been meaning to look into it and check it out, and I checked it out, and he had like a half pipe there, like and with a view of the beach, like Dikwela Bay is like right there. I was like,
Mm.
okay, yeah, let's go to Sri Lanka. I think that might be fun, yeah, because I've
Mm.
been skateboarding forever, never really quit except when I was, partying too much. And but so that was kind of like the deciding factor for me is that she plus my girlfriend at the time, who later became my wife because I proposed to her on the beach there,
Ooh,
um,
in Sri Lanka.
in Sri Lanka, yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, it was pretty romantic. Down on one knee, diamond ring, everything, like proper. Um,
Nice.
yeah, she wanted to go there really badly. I was like, lukewarm about it. And then I saw
That's her first time too?
that was her
I
first
mean,
time.
sorry. That
Yeah,
was the first time. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So she loved it. We both. I really got to see more this time because we were there for like I think a week or 10 days. Like the first time was four
Mm.
days, and yeah, it was crazy.
Mm.
And this was in 2018, back when the Hurricane wasn't like super. It was already on the radar, but not like super on the radar like it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And so then I was like, then I looked at my friend who started his hotel. I was like, okay, it's pretty cool, like lifestyle you got going here, surfing, skateboarding, like that's kind of my dream too. So how'd you do it? And he just gave me the skinny on what he did, and how they set it up. And so instead of going to Yala National Park, which is what we were planning on doing, like the last day or two of our romantic holiday together, we ended up spending the last 2 days in a lawyer's office in Matra, setting up these companies we needed to buy.
Very romantic.
Yes, in the lawyer's office already, honey. It was just proposed, and we're already talking to a lawyer. This is not good. This is not bode well for our marriage. But we're still together somehow. I don't know how. Yeah, that was the beginning of the whole process we needed to start to do to buy the land and set up our hotel. That was like the conception, and that's all. Like also like that's when the seed was planted for the idea that we want to have a baby too. Like very fertile land, Sri Lanka, for like dreams and to make your vision a reality.
Yeah. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So then, so it's pretty intense, right? You first come for just 4 days, and then again you come for on a like a romantic trip, but then you decide like, okay, this is gonna be my future. Now looking back, Baxter, do you feel like I shouldn't have been in a hurry, or it was the right decision? What do you feel looking back at that day now?
Yeah, I think, thank God I made that decision. Thank God. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm so glad we didn't go to Yala. I mean, okay, we did, like last year. We finally went there. It was cool.
You have all the time now.
Yeah, now we can. Yeah, we haven't seen very little of Sri Lanka actually, because we've been so busy with the business. But we'll get to that. But it was so the right time to do what we did. To set up those companies and start looking for land, because the price of land has just gone up since 2018. It's like, if you go to, like, it's crazy how much it's developed. Even in our little area, Maliada, it's our village is like in a year it's like really developed. So best time to buy real estate or get involved is like before it's on everyone's radar, because afterwards like prices go up. So yeah, it was
yeah,
good time.
Now is the time if you want to invest or buy a real estate, buy a land or a house.
Yeah, it's still reasonably priced. I mean, depending on how close you are to like a hot area like Hirikatia or Marissa. I mean, there's still
but as a Sri Lankan, I feel like there is a difference in price compared to last year. I was shortlisting some houses, and then now I say the same area, also same neighborhood, and the prices are like high, man. Like
right.
I mean, that could be a good sign for a development of the country too. No? So let's take it that way.
Okay. So it's definitely promising. Like,
Baxter, I have a question now. I lived in the Middle East too, and Europe, right?
Yeah.
Now, why didn't you plan to settle down in the Middle East or Spain in that case? Why Sri Lanka?
Well,
I'm asking you this because people in Sri Lanka, they think that, yes, Europe is the best place to live, or Middle East is the best place to live all their life, even though they won't give you will never be a Middle Eastern, but I mean, in documentation sense.
Yeah.
But you decided to come to us. Why?
Yeah, well, I'd always wanted to live in paradise. When I was a kid, I was lucky enough to live in Jakarta, and I got to go to Bali like in around 1984, like around that time period before it really blew up. And then so that was like a major impact on my life, like having the expat lifestyle when I was a kid and getting to travel. And we went to Thailand and Japan and stuff, and I was just a kid with my family. So anyways, then we moved back to the United States, and as soon as I got back, I was just thinking, like, how can I get back? I loved like being in different cultures. I mean, I love the differences, and it was just so interesting, and like so many different levels, and anyways, in high school, I started to try to imagine like, okay, what's it going to be like when I get old? You know, like what do I want? Where do I want to be? What do I want to be doing? And at that point, I was really into skateboarding. I thought I want to have like a small hotel near the beach somewhere tropical and like skate and like surf and like maybe have a boat and like go fishing and like just live like a simple life, you know?
Mm.
And it was just a dream. Like there's no way. I mean, I looked into it a little bit in 2009 when I went to Sri Lanka for the first time, and I saw these prices were just like $400,000 and like $500,000. I was like, oh my, I'm just an English teacher. There's no way I'm going to be able to save up enough money to do that.
Mm.
Um, but then I got a good job in the UAE and I was able to save money and I bought some property in the US. And then I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's like, maybe it's possible to. And
Mm.
then I started looking at prices again in 2018, and I was like, really? Is that? I couldn't believe like it was actually affordable for me. Like the first piece of land that I bought was like 55,000 US dollars. So it's like
Mm.
so very reasonably priced from Western point of view.
Mhm.
So it was just like all these things came together, and then suddenly it was like possible to live that dream. And I thought, this is my chance. If I don't, I got to seize the moment. Like so let's
Mm.
do it now. And yeah, that's it. I just wanted to live the dream and surf in the mornings, and then skate in the afternoons, and live in a beautiful tropical place, and just live
That's
the dream.
nice.
Yeah,
That's nice. So,
yeah,
Baxter, you have a business in Sri Lanka now,
yeah,
right?
yeah. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Tell us about it, please.
Yeah, it's called Gaia Soul. It's a guest house on the southern coast of Sri Lanka, close between Matra and Dikwela. And we have
Mm.
4 double rooms and 2 family rooms. We have a half pipe for skateboarding because, I'm a skateboarder. And that's right in the front yard. There's a plunge pool just directly next to the half pipe. So you can skate. I can skate and then have a little outdoor shower and jump in the pool. And there's a beach. Like it's just like 2 minutes walk from where we live. You can hear the waves like all the time. On Poya
Man,
nights, you can hear the monks chanting at there's a Buddhist monastery just like less than a kilometer away, so you can hear that like just.
mm.
And we just finished building a skate park between the 2 family rooms and the main building, so it's like a skateboarder's paradise.
Mm.
And we also have a yoga studio which is on top of the family rooms, and then a rooftop bar like lounge area, hangout, because I bought the neighbor's land. Was it just last year? And so we finally finished with everything is complete now. Maybe in the
Nice.
future we're going to add a pool somewhere down at the new place, but um, yeah, we're open for business year round. And right now we got the low season rate, so if you want to come check it out, this would be a great time to come stay with us.
Mm-hmm.
There's Sunshine Cafe, which is our neighbor's cafe. She originally worked for us as a housekeeper, and then because of her regular income she earned from working at Gaia Soul, she was able to get a loan and start her own business. So now we've partnered with them, and they're providing breakfast, lunch, and dinner for our guests. And yeah, it's just a beautiful setup there. And my wife and I and my daughter, we live in the top floor of the
Mm.
main building. So we have an apartment up
Mm-hmm.
there, and then there's the double rooms, and then there's like the common area downstairs, like living room, dining room, open air kitchen. So if you're staying with us, you can do your own catering, or you can get food from Sunshine Cafe. It's all reasonably priced. And if you're really into food, we also have cooking classes at Gaia Soul, so you can learn how to cook Sri
Mm.
Lankan food. And my wife has taken one of those courses, and she can make a pretty good coconut sambal and like curry. And there's a curry bush on our property, but it's actually a tree now. It's huge, so we've always
Mm.
got fresh curry. What else can we do?
Carapincha.
Yes, is that what it's called? Okay, you know better than me. And there's also yeah, daily yoga classes when we're there. Because my wife is a yoga teacher, and
Mm.
we have like a special massage area built into the yoga studio. So yeah, it's like kind of like one-stop shopping. You can do it all: skate,
Yeah,
surf,
man. It
massage,
sounds
cooking
beautiful,
classes,
really.
beach. And we have one of the best beaches in Sri Lanka because uh it's raw nature. It's like it's not.
Dikwel.
Not Dikwela. No, we're in Maliada, which is before Dikwela.
Ah,
Like
yeah, 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 yeah.
if you're driving from Matara towards Dikwela, we're
Yeah.
just before, and there's nothing that you won't see. Maybe you'll see like one or two other tourists because there are a couple of little. I mean, we're right next door to Annie Villas, which is a 5-star resort, and then there's some development. There's Kima and some other places around us. So you might see like one or two tourists, but that's it. And otherwise, you just feel like it's your own private beach, and it's just gorgeous.
Nice. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, sounds great. And you're selling it well, man.
Oh, thanks.
Baxter, now, later I'll ask you like how people can find you and book you. But first, I want to get into this topic. How easy or hard was it to establish a business in Sri Lanka as an expat? Hi, if you're watching this episode and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. It'll be a big strength for me. Let's go back to the video.
It was relatively easy, really. You just had to find the most difficult part is finding a lawyer that you trust. And luckily, my friend who set up his own business there, he said, "Yeah, I'll give you his number. He's super busy. I don't know if he'll accept you, but." And so we went there and he accepted us, and we were able to set up both of our companies in just like 2 days, in the last 2 days of our romantic holiday. And just with that alone, we were able to start looking for land. So to buy land in the name of the company, right? Because as a foreigner, you can't have it in your name, but you can buy it in the name of your own company. So that's kind of the workaround. Yeah. So that was the easiest part. The harder part comes later when you have to register with the Sri Lankan Tourist Development Authority. That takes a lot of like calls back and like chasing people up to get them to look at your paperwork, and it took us about a year to get registered for that. And then with the new changes in the new government, because there's a new government in Sri Lanka that's been elected based upon the anti-corruption agenda, and so a big part of that is disentangling all the bureaucratic loopholes, mess. Yes, like it's like so they're trying to do things legitimately for like visas and residencies, and I don't think they've ever done it that way. So no one really knows how to do it, and so it's more complicated now, but it's not impossible. It just takes a lot of patience and having a good team or a company helping you to navigate that process, and some money to because you have to have an audit, and there's some moving parts there, but it's not impossible. If I could, I'm just an English teacher, really. I don't really have any experience. I don't have any experience except for the 2 years that we've been open in experience in hospitality. So we've been able to do it so far, and so if I can do it, you guys can do it too. Like it's not.
You're learning on the go.
yeah, learning by doing.
But Baxter, while you were waiting for the tourism board approval and those things for a year, you were building the property, right?
Yeah,
the work was going on, right?
Yeah. Like if you want to build, that's no problem. Yeah, I mean you have to get permission or from like the coastal, depending on how close your property is to the coastline. Then there are certain governmental authorities you have to get approval from before you start building, but that's not that difficult.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, as a Sri Lankan, I can speak for myself. To apply to a visit visa itself is like a nightmare for us. So bureaucracy is universal. I mean, in Europe or let's say America. So
right, yeah. Even
bureaucracy is hell in everywhere, man. It's hell.
Yeah.
Baxter, now when you mentioned that it's important to find a trustworthy, reliable lawyer, right? Yeah. Now, for people who are watching this, let's say specifically expats, right, like you, let's tell them what a lawyer shouldn't have. Like, what are the qualities you should avoid in a lawyer or a partner when you want to associate with a local?
I don't know what to avoid, except for if they make everything seem like it's going to be too simple, too easy, then
Mm,
it sounds too good to be true. Probably
mm,
is. Yeah.
mm,
I would say your best bet if you're looking to buy land in Sri Lanka and start up your own business is to get reference from somebody who's already living there, like somebody who's had experience with one particular lawyer. They haven't been ripped off.
mm,
The lawyer does what they say they're going to do. Then I would approach that person. That's what I did, and it worked out. Thank God.
mm, mm, mm.
So because
Could be
another
hard for newcomers,
yeah,
but yeah.
it's doable. Yeah, it's just like
Mm,
word of mouth.
mm,
Um, because one thing you have to be careful with buying land is they have to make sure the deed is clean. So this is like part of the legacy of the Civil War. A lot of people left their properties like in the middle of the night because they didn't want to get killed by angry mobs. And then the paperwork got left behind and people moved in, and so you have to make sure that no one's going to claim that, hey, actually
mm,
that's my family's property from a long time ago.
mm, mm, mm,
So if you can get a lawyer who's also experienced in checking the cleanliness of a deed, then that's ideal.
mm,
So someone who has experience in real estate, um,
mm,
lawyering or whatever,
mm.
which my lawyer does. He has a lot of experience with that, a lot of experience with expats, and so I could ask him if I can give a link to, I don't know how much more business he wants, but I could ask him if I could, put his email contact, maybe you could list it
Mm,
on the
mm, mm,
video.
mm, mm,
So
mm, mm,
I would
mm.
recommend
No,
him.
I'm actually looking for immigration consultants and lawyers to talk about this because um, some might have a lot of knowledge about lands and buying properties, but
Yeah,
not necessarily worked with expats. You know what I mean? So
yeah, right.
the balance should be there. So
Yeah, it'll make it easier for you if you're not the first expat the lawyer has ever dealt with. Like you want
yes,
someone with some experience. So you
yes,
don't have to teach them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I have to be careful and good luck, everybody. By the way, there are groups on Facebook where expats hang around and ask questions, clarify their doubts. So
Yeah,
might be a good idea to join them and I don't know, anonymously or with your identity, you can ask the questions like, can you suggest me a lawyer? What should I look for? And blah, blah, People do that. I do
yeah,
that. It's
yeah,
helpful.
yeah.
Instead
Well,
of just coming and thinking, oh, I'm going to invest here.
right. Yeah, you want to be careful at that stage.
Yeah. Not everyone is blessed with a friend like Baxter.
No, no. Yeah, I got lucky with the lawyer.
Yeah.
Contractors, okay, that's another story, but yeah, okay.
Mm. Yeah. So overall, Baxter,
Yeah.
how do you find life in Sri Lanka? Is it comfortable?
No, I love it. Yeah. It can be like pretty hot. I mean, hot and humid, but there's always the option, for me to jump into the pool, to go to the beach, go
Mm.
surfing. There's ways to cool off. Um,
Is
yeah,
it like unbearably hot and humid or just manageable compared to Middle East, let's say?
okay. So, like what makes Dubai really unpleasant is the heat and the humidity, and then Sri Lanka is
Yeah.
both. Yeah, so a lot of people compare Bali to Sri Lanka, like, oh, Sri Lanka is the new Bali, but the humidity in Bali is far lower, way lower than in Sri Lanka. So
Mm.
it's but there are things you can do to escape it. You can go to jump in the pool, you can go to the beach, or you can go to the tea, the hill stations or the tea plantations. Like we went
Mm.
just recently went to
Central
LA.
province.
Yeah, Central Province. So there's ways to beat the heat, and it's not
Mm.
depending on the day. Like sometimes you just don't want to go outside. It's the tropics.
Okay.
What do you expect? Come on, if you want to live in the
Yeah.
tropics, you gotta learn to love it.
Take the heat.
Yeah, yeah. If you can't stand the heat, then get out of the kitchen.
Mm. Baxter, how is it raising a child in Sri Lanka? How old is
Yeah,
she, by the way, your daughter?
she'll be 4 in July. So
Mm.
yeah. She loves it. I mean, she's got a friend right next door, Dumini, the neighbor. She's about well, she's actually older, and then there's Sanduni's daughter has a daughter too, Hailey, and they're about this. So she's got like a little play, friends who live just right in
Mm,
front of us, and sometimes they come over and swim in the pool. Or Danny has like her own little playground. They come over and play on the swing, and um, and there's also a Montessori school just up the hill from us. And there's Gaia Soul and Annie Villas. We partnered together to refurbish the playground.
mm,
So there's a playground there for the local kids to play on, and the kids who go to the school, and Danny can go there. I can take her to there. Sometimes we go with Dumini and Hailey. We all go together.
mm,
So yeah, there's options for like in the beach. She loves going to the beach and playing in the sand and discovering like weird like sea creatures and flowers, and she's a kid, so she can play with anything. She's
mm, mm. What about healthcare and other facilities? As a parent, maybe you
yeah,
need to take her to a dental checkup or a medical checkup. There are
right,
vaccinations and things like this as a parent.
right. We just recently took her to the dentist because she had a cavity, and
Mm,
me and my wife were both super scared. But we found a
mm,
really good one, a good dentist in Tangale, and
mm.
and she loved it. I mean, she's just like, it's so beautiful here. She was like in love with the decor in the room, and she wasn't scared. I didn't cry, nothing. Like
Mm.
she got a little filling, and we were both just like amazed that maybe she's gonna be a dentist when she grows up. I don't know. Uh, and then she did get sick once, and we went to the hospital in Matra at Asiri, and it was okay. There was a
Mm,
good pediatrician there,
mm,
and gave her some medicine. She was better the next day. So we haven't had really any issues. The healthcare in Sri Lanka is very inexpensive, so we don't even have like I talked to my friends who like the guy who set up his own hotel there before, like, what do you guys do for health insurance? Like, they don't have any, and we don't have any either. So we just go and
mm.
pay as we go because
It's
to
cheaper.
it's cheaper, and it's just more convenient to try to get
Mm,
health insurance from abroad to work in Sri Lanka. It's like,
mm,
just does not compute, and it would be we'd end up paying more money. So it's just cheaper to not have anything,
mm,
and
mm, mm,
and the
mm, mm,
quality that we've gotten there is good.
mm, mm, mm. Yeah, many guests, many of my guests say that. Baxter, now
Hmm.
being an English native speaker,
Yeah.
how hard or easy is it to get around, like speak to doctors, health professionals, or just daily? Is it hard to survive with English, let's say?
No, no. You have to be good at yeah. If you've ever
Hand
played like
gestures?
Pictionary, like, or charades, that helps a lot. Like
Hmm.
these kind of things. But yeah.
You have to be an
Mm.
English speaking Italian. Talk with your body.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, use it all, baby. Yeah. So that helps, and then it's just a few words in the local language can help too. Like
Mm. But
and
when you go to a hospital or a government office or something, they do
yeah,
speak English. I'm thinking they would.
some do. Yeah. Like, okay, generally, like, doctors are gonna know
Mm.
pretty English pretty well. Dentist,
Mm.
yeah, our dentist speaks English very well, like no problem. We also got glasses for Danny when we were there, and the optometrist spoke English very well, like no problem.
Mm.
So in those kind of situations, yeah, government places, courts, good luck. There's not going to be
Mm.
much. Bring a translator if your Sinhalese is not that good yet,
Mm.
and be
But are
prepared.
they usually helpful, government offices for expats, or how is
Hmm.
it?
It depends. Yeah. Sometimes it can be an advantage, to being different, um,
Mm.
because I'm not sure why, because you're different, and so you get like preferential treatment sometimes.
Mm.
Sometimes it's definitely not an advantage to be an expat or to be a foreigner.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's time for them to get their payback or something. I don't know. But mostly it's, yeah, overall I'd say it's positive. Like, it's manageable. You can get by with English. Like, but it's really helpful if you meet someone, a local, someone there who also speaks English who can help you in those kind of situations, translate for you as needed. Like
Mm,
we have someone like that.
mm.
And she's been like invaluable.
Okay, great. Baxter, what about your Sinhalese?
Yeah, not much. This year is going to be different. I'm going to study. I've been, I don't
Did
know,
you
like
say this last year?
yeah, like okay, this year when I go back, man, I'm gonna like every day I'm gonna learn like
New
10,
Year resolution.
yeah, 10 new words. Um, and I do like it when I get a positive reaction, like, and just like trying like a little bit, like
Mm,
people
mm,
will love it. Like they will love you and always remember, they'll talk about you. Like, it's a
mm,
great way to become friends with the local people,
mm,
ingratiate
mm, mm.
yourself. Uh, So yeah, this year is going to be different. I'm going to get in there, and because the first 2 years of running a business like the most difficult, and I think we kind of know what's going on, what we should and shouldn't do, and so hopefully this season, the upcoming season, I'll be able to relax a little bit and won't have to worry as much about all the moving parts. So I'll be able to set some time aside to study Sinhalese like
Mm,
properly.
mm,
Like
mm.
I know some teachers too.
Okay,
So
I'm gonna catch up with you next year to
yeah,
see.
okay. You test me, yeah.
And what about the food, Baxter? Do you have like a favorite food? Any of our dishes do you like the
Yeah,
most?
my favorite is I could eat this every day. That would be like papadam with coconut sambal and dal. Like that's like it's kind of like the
Without
Sri
rice,
Lankan.
you mean?
No, right? Yeah. Well, okay, rice, okay, no problem. But I prefer like papadam, dal, and coconut sambal. That's perfect for me. It's like and
Just
all the
that.
soup. That's it. Yeah. Um,
Mm.
because it really reminds me of like Mexican food. Because in Mexico they have a thing
Oh
called a
yeah.
chalupa. It's like this round, just exactly like a papadam, but made from corn, I think.
Mm.
And yeah, you put beans on it and like whatever you want on top. So it really reminds me of that, and but like with the spicy Sri Lankan, the chili.
Mm, mm, mm.
That.
Wow, that's a new way to look at it.
Yeah, it's like the Mexican food of Sri Lanka.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there are some foods that we don't think that we could do it in a different way. Like for example, um, avocado, right?
Oh, yeah, I love
Avocado is just like a
avocado.
juice or a dessert for
Like,
us. We
right.
would never dream of chopping some onions and cilantro and make it like a
Oh,
guacamole.
oh yeah. Oh my God,
You
love
know,
that.
we have it everywhere, avocados, but we only make juice.
Right.
So there are some things I think we can improvise on the go. Should
Yeah,
try.
see, that's new for me. I just recently started adding avocado to my smoothies. Like after I go surfing, usually make a smoothie, and as I saw an
Yeah.
avocado sitting on the counter, I was like, okay, you too, get in there. And I was like, it's really good.
Yeah, it's not a fruit outside of Sri Lanka. It's just like a condiment, or how do you say, like making sauce out of it, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, like I've never in India I saw people like eating it like basically like cutting open an
We do
avocado and
that
putting
too.
sugar and like eat it like ice cream. It's like you mix it
Mm.
up, you put some like not ghee, but the other like it's like sour cream or like some oh my God, I forgot. It's like yogurt. You put it in, you mix it in there with
Okay.
yeah, that's so good. Um,
Yeah, so
so,
we could try that too.
yeah, but people in the West would look at. First time I saw it, I thought it was weird. Like really, and then I tried. It's like wow, this like creamy
Yeah.
avocado ice cream. Like okay, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Um, and share us some unforgettable or crazy experience you had in Sri Lanka, Baxter.
Uh, okay. Yeah, sure. Um, some funny things like different cultural differences. I've noticed that, like in the village where we live, uh, people like to brush their teeth like I think they start brushing their teeth in the bathroom or near the water, but then they go out and they're just like on the street, just like like I
That's
don't
the
know.
morning gossip routine.
Okay, there's like I'm like you're raking and like you're like your teeth are probably clean by now, but okay, that's cool. That's different. but I'm not judging, just saying it's different. And then sometimes I'll see like couples walking, like Sri Lankan couples walking hand in hand on the beach wearing helmets. Like I don't understand why they don't take off their helmets. But yeah, maybe it's easier that way. For me, it's like I'd be like really hot, uncomfortable. Or sometimes I'll see like families, like mom and dad at the playground with their kids, still got the helmets on, like just like no problem. So that's kind of like odd, I think it's funny. Um,
I wonder
and
why. It's like they're ready to just jump into the bike or scooter back, or what do you think is
yeah,
going on in their mind? I've
usually
never
like
seen
the
it,
way
by
I,
the way.
oh no, okay, maybe it's like a southern thing. Um,
Mm.
oh, what else? Oh yeah, and I did. I had one of my surfboards was stolen. I don't know
Mm.
if it was kind of like my fault. I left it in the yoga studio at that time. We didn't really have CCTV everywhere in the property, and there
Mm.
was an easy way to get in. Anyways, so it got stolen, and it turns out it was, and the police caught the guy. I'm still in shock that they actually caught the guy, and it's someone I hired to do like day work at the place, and he, the surfboard's really expensive in Sri Lanka, by the way. So if you're if
Mm.
you're if you're gonna move to Sri Lanka, bring your own surfboards. It's cheaper. Anyway, so they
Good
caught the guy.
tip.
Yeah, so they caught the guy, and I thought, okay, cool, and I can go get my surfboard. And then so I went to the police station, and no, 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 you have to go to court. I had to go to court and submit a motion with the court for them to release the surfboard to me. And what that entailed was like me spending 6 hours in the Sri Lankan courtroom just for the chance to ask the judge, please, judge, give me my surfboard back. So I had to take a day off of work. And if you ever go to court in Sri Lanka, just know um, you can't bring your cell phone or your smartphone with you.
Mm, mm,
So
mm, mm.
yeah, leave it in the car, leave it with a friend or whatever. So definitely, bring a book or something to read. Bring a notebook, like prepare to be there like all day. It's gonna be hot. There's gonna be flies. Some roaming dogs will be around. You won't understand what's going on. But bring someone who speaks a language at least, or preferably a lawyer, so that you can
Mm.
hopefully never get your property stolen in Sri Lanka. But if it does happen the cops do manage to catch the guy, then just be prepared to spend all day in court to get back your stolen property. That's just
Mm.
the way it
Did
goes.
you get the surfboard at the end?
Yes, but I almost got arrested because while I was in court, because apparently men are not allowed to cross their legs when when you sit down. You have to have both of you can't it's common, for yeah, like you can't have your legs crossed. You have to have both feet properly on the floor, or it'll be like I think they'll find you in contempt of court or something like that. So I
Really?
didn't, yeah, I didn't know that, and
I didn't know that from
yeah,
there, but
yeah,
how do you know this? Like before you go, is there like a board saying don't do this, don't do that, do this?
no, 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 no. So definitely, and so like the whole courtroom stopped, there's a guy, he's called the Mudiliar, I think he's like kind of like does all the announces the
Mudaliyar. Okay.
yeah, yeah, he announces like the case number, blah 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 blah, and then
Uh,
yeah, it's like an auctioneer kind of. And then he started yelling at me. I didn't know he was yelling at me because he was yelling at me in Sinhalese. And then like everyone's looking at me. I was like, oh, maybe he's talking to me. Like maybe I'm doing something wrong. And then and then he's like, it's kept going
mm.
on. And someone's like, hey, uncross your legs. I was like, okay. And then
Whoa.
everyone's like laughing, and because I didn't understand, I was like, okay, this. I just want my surfboard back, man. That's it. Like, come on. Why is okay? But I'm so just learn from my experience. Don't if you're a man,
Cross your
bring
legs.
yeah,
And God knows
women.
how many other things we shouldn't do.
Yeah.
I
So
wonder if this is same in every country, every law, or just us.
I've never seen. I mean, I've been in a few different courtrooms in a few different countries, and I've never seen that.
Experience building.
Yes, yes. The experience is not complete, the cultural immersion, until you've experienced a foreign courtroom. Then, maybe a wedding, funeral, courtroom. Then Getting to know the
Yeah.
culture.
Yeah. I'll go for the weddings.
Yeah, yeah. More
Courtroom.
fun.
No,
Stay
thank
away
you.
from the courtrooms. Yeah. You don't want to go there. Boring. Yeah.
Wow, man. I'm sorry, but I mean it's funny, but sorry you had to go through this.
Yeah.
Okay, Baxter. Now, your wife is with you
Yeah.
and before the childbirth and after. So tell us, like, how is it safe for her in Sri Lanka? Did she have any uncomfortable situations?
Mm, my wife? No,
Yeah.
no, no, no. Just okay. So we have taken like the public buses a couple
Mm.
like once, and that'll probably be the last time that my wife and child ever get on a Sri Lankan bus because
Mm-hmm.
the bus drivers there drive like bats out of hell, and it can be really there's no seat belts, and it's just that's probably the most dangerous thing in Sri Lanka is the traffic and because of the
Mm.
bus drivers. And I think there was one recent bus crash from
Yeah.
you heard about that, yeah? Like
Yeah.
23 people died, and so but as far as like that's the only thing, yeah, just like
Mm.
so we have our own car, and so we just take the car everywhere. And but a lot of families, they a lot of other expat families, they have like they rent tuk-tuks and they do like the whole family in tuk-tuks, and like just one they have like a nanny or someone holding their child like while they're driving the tuk-tuk, which seems crazy to me, but it's people do that. Or I've seen other expat families, they're just like the whole family on the scooter, just like a local Sri Lankan family, like mom, dad, baby in between, sometimes with a helmet on, sometimes not. But I can't imagine taking that kind of risk with our daughter, So
Yeah. Yeah. No, not recommended.
yeah. And my daughter has blonde hair and blue eyes, so she does get a lot of attention. People always want to go up
Mm.
to her and like do her chin like this. I guess it's like a Sri Lankan, like, oh, you're so cute
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
thing.
We do that.
Yeah. And my daughter doesn't like that, so we have to like
Mm.
when we go out in public with her, we have to like anyone who's getting close, we have to kind
Guard
of like,
her.
yeah, like block, like like kind of like, no, no, especially if it's
Mm.
like an older lady, like grandmotherly type, then for
Yeah.
sure they're gonna want to touch her, and she doesn't like that.
Mm.
So,
Mm, mm,
but that's
mm,
just, I understand that they're not trying to like invade her space, but for her,
mm.
it's like that's what it is. Like we have
Yeah,
to.
yeah. I think it's a personal choice, right? Because I have a friend from Italy. She said everyone was so, like doing this, the old lady especially, and she loved it. She
Yeah,
feels like a close
yeah,
connection with it. Yeah, I think
yeah,
it's personal.
yeah.
But yes, guys, we recruit our bus drivers from Fast and Furious movie set. So pay attention, be cautious before you get into one of those.
Yeah, it could be fun. Like, if you're not,
Um,
if you
I don't
like
know.
that kind of, if you like adrenaline, like then sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Baxter, finally, do you
Yeah.
have a message or do you have any like rounded one set of advice for expats who are thinking to settle down in Sri Lanka?
Yeah, I would say go for it. I mean, if you've
Mm,
always wanted to live in paradise and you have an open mind and you're uh, willing to, see yourself as a visitor to that country, like this is like, don't try to change the culture, just accept it as it is, and
mm,
keep an open mind. And yeah, I mean, if you want to live in paradise, then there you go. There's no such thing as a perfect paradise. So
mm,
yeah, but that's one thing that I've learned in Sri Lanka is finding the beauty in imperfections. Like even with our hotel, like at the beginning, I was like driving myself crazy, like, oh, this needs this, like going through like a mental checklist of everything that needs to be fixed, and this shouldn't be like that, and oh my God, why is that like this? And like, okay, I've learned to like let all that stuff go and like just be okay with it not with everything not being exactly like perfect, and
mm,
learning to appreciate the beauty in imperfections. So it's not for everyone, but
mm,
if you're adventurous and open-minded, then you'll love it. So if you're a Sri Lankan and you're living abroad, come back. Like there's a whole world for you to discover again, and I think you'll love it. It'll for me, like if I was a expat Sri Lankan living abroad and I came back to my home country, it would be like rediscovering who I am, and rekindling those connections with the past, and those family ties. And yeah, I would imagine it to be a very moving and rewarding experience to come back to your homeland, So yeah.
And most of them, in my observation, are scared because they think it is the same as when they left. It's not,
No,
right?
no,
It's
no.
developed so much and still developing, and the political scenario is better. So
Yes.
yeah, give it a chance, right? Give
Yeah,
our country a chance.
that's right. Yeah, it's definitely nowhere. Yeah, the nothing near like it was before. No, no, not at all. It's safe. It's safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
All
there with
right.
my family if it wasn't. So
Yes. Hands-on experience. Listen to
yeah,
Baxter.
there you go.
Thank you, Baxter, for coming, taking
Yeah,
your time, sharing your story with us.
yeah.
So last question before we
Sure.
leave.
Okay. Okay.
How can people book Gaia Soul and stay at your property?
Yeah, come to our website. It's www.gaiasoulsrilanka.com. You can book directly with us. You get your best rate. That includes breakfast and access to the skate park, pool, yoga, everything. So, or if you're not a fan of direct bookings, you can go to Airbnb. We're also on Airbnb and on Booking. So, wait, there's another one, Skate B&Bs. This is like Airbnb, but for skateboarders. We're also there, and on Expedia. So many options to book with us. Best way is to book directly. Then you get the best deal, and we can save on all those commission payments.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, and wishing you good luck with the business, your life, and everything else. And we will see you when we are in Sri Lanka, hopefully.
Okay. Aibuan. I mean, astuti. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Okay, see you. Bye.